And one Bert Show listener hit me hard. I did not like this look that she made me take at my younger self. I was not expecting this at all, right? Let me ask you guys, because I think we're probably all going to answer this the same way, maybe. If somebody, how do I preface this? If somebody was going to set a friend up with your younger self, would it have been a good bet?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's hard for me to answer because it really depends on what specific time. But for the most part, I'd say no.
For the most part, no.
Yeah.
Why?
Just was immature, was into myself, wasn't really into I don't think I would have been a good partner.
So this is a question she asked me, and I felt an enormous amount of pressure. An enormous amount. All right. Hey, Bert, been listening to the show for about 5 years. Love you guys so much. I'm 24 years old, and I have sort of a weird question to ask you. About 3 months ago, I started dating a guy that I'm really into. I swear he's a 25-year-old version of capital letters. You! His family background is almost the same. Grew up with parents that didn't celebrate anything. A lot of family cutoffs. He was sort of an afterthought for them. I mean, these are all things that I've said on the show also. His therapist has also told him he was emotionally abused as a child.
Hey, at least he's going to therapy. That's a good sign.
Exactly, right?
Starting early.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my therapist once told me, I think I shared this with you guys, emotional abuse is so much harder to treat for the patient in a lot of cases, because with physical abuse, you can point to the scar of a cigarette burn or something like that and say, I know for sure this happened. Here's the scar. Whereas when you're telling the story to a therapist and you're reliving everything emotionally, it's way more difficult.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? I can see his pain in ways some can't. He's not close to anyone, doesn't trust a lot of people, has a tough time opening up, doesn't speak to either of his parents. Don't get me wrong, he treats me really, really well. Sometimes I feel like I'm way more into him than he is me. He says he just has a really tough time showing love and connecting. A lot of what he describes I've heard you talk about during the Bert Show. Like this kid, I love when young people refer to each other as kids. Like this kid is you. So as a psych major, I gotta ask you, would you have endorsed dating you when you were younger? What am I in for? She writes, Bert, you weren't expecting this, right?
Nope.
From Emma. Hell no.
And of course, this email will come from a psych major. That is a total psych major email to write.
Oh, hell no, man.
No.
Absolutely not.
That's not fair to him, though.
That's what I was also going to say. It is not fair to him. I mean, my situation, we might have similarities, but the way that we handle things could very well be very, very different. But look, man, I mean, what I had to do with my dad and the way that he sort of taught me how women were to be treated, which was really poorly and as objects. And sex was the ultimate goal. It didn't have anything to do with intimacy or connection. It was bad, really, really bad. And it took me years and years and years to get over that.
To reprogram.
It's exactly what it was.
You had to get reprogrammed.
Reprogrammed on so many different levels on how to treat women, also how to love, how to connect, how to celebrate. What you're saying here, man, is a completely different dude than I was when I was 23, which most people are going to say anyway. But I would not have been proud of myself at this age had I not gone to therapy and totally reprogrammed everything I did with my parents.
But that doesn't mean you're not worthy of love or dating somebody.
Worthy. I wasn't a good bet. I mean, sure, I was worthy of being loved, but as far as being loved back, I wasn't capable.
Yeah. I mean, looking back on myself, I completely understand what you mean. I think I just didn't know how to love, and I was a runner. I don't know if I would have hung in there, you know what I mean, if things got rough. So at the same time, though, I do believe if I would have met the right woman, I think that's what a lot of guys do, that can pull kind of the good things out of you and show you something different, maybe you would be more capable.
Yeah, I feel like there's too many factors in play for her to make a definitive decision as to whether or not she should give this guy a shot.
I mean, because I've been married, so I thought I found the right woman, but I don't know that it was a good match for her. I don't know that even when we got married, man, that I could give her what a woman needed. Even though I was in that marriage, I still...
Everybody makes mistakes. And everybody learns from those mistakes. And that's
Stacey was me.
You're not a mistake.
But no, I would not have endorsed that. And... But again, I almost hate to be honest because I don't want her to apply my opinion of me and myself and my growth to what he's going through.
Exactly, because no two situations are the exact same. There's going to be some similarities, there's definitely going to be some differences.
The history and the emotional fingerprint are going to be totally different.
Completely different.
So, Emma, thank you for your email. Don't listen to anything I just said. Absolutely not.
And you are paying for Bert's next therapy appointment.
And one is lined up because Kristen said I must go. She's made it mandatory.
So
pretty much the other day, you kind of made it mandatory.
I'm sorry I said that.
I said to Kristen, I'm like, I'm thinking about going back to therapy. And she's like, oh, you need it.
No, that is okay.
Go today.
No, you are misremembering slightly. I told you guys jokingly, hey, I'm going to therapy. Anything you want me to talk about? And you were like, yeah, I think I should go back. And I'm like, oh, you need to go back. You just got a lot going on right now, all right?
Yep, I do need to go back.
The Bert Show.
Like what you just watched, you can get more of The Bert Show on your favorite podcast platform. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you can find us. I don't know what any of these buttons do, by the way.